We got some news, like Jordan hinted at, about a potential Sony handheld. So this is Bloomberg that is reporting this. It is not official like the Xbox one was. That was an interview with Phil Spencer where he said they are working on a handheld, but it's a ways off. I think they even reached out to Sony and there was no comment back. But it sounds like, again, early stages of a handheld. I'm guessing they saw the success of the Portal and they see the success of the Switch and the Steam Deck, just like Xbox. And maybe, rather than selling these giant expensive consoles, this is a middle path. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that this handheld stuff, because this seems kind of big, right? Like that every company
Bloomberg reported it. Yeah.
Is chasing a trend, or do you think this is like a legit trend that's worth chasing?
I think it's chasing a trend. It's giving chasing, especially when they released that anniversary PlayStation just now. It's like how many computers do you expect your target demographic to buy? Because that's how I'm starting to see it at this point. They're computers. I don't like that first, second gen magic. If I'm going to buy a console, the first through the 2000s, it did feel like you're buying a console. Now not the commitment, but like the horsepower you're buying computers. You're just buying computers. And
I think the main difference for me is like Nintendo Switch has Nintendo games that you can't play anywhere else, where it's like with Sony, you're going to have this console that you can play it at your house on your TV. Then you're going to have this console that you can take on the road with you and play. But it's going to be all the same like catalog of games. And for me, it's like the Switch is at that point a better value only because like you have Nintendo games that you can just do both. And I'm wondering if the Sony console will do both, if that's like the mode they're trying to go, but that's not the vibe I got from like the Portal. Maybe this like the Portal was a little bit more successful than they anticipated. And they're like, oh, maybe this is actually something people want. And they're trying to like do something in that direction to kind of give folks the option and maybe have like a slightly like downgraded power wise from a PS5 like handheld, but still like, in that price point. But I don't know. I don't really see myself getting one. Like, I think the Steam Deck is still like the answer only because like I have that catalog already completely built out versus like starting from scratch with the Sony one just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know how many of these they would actually sell.
I am jazzed about this. I agree with you, Jordan, that this is probably them being like, oh shit, more people bought the Portal than we expected. And that shows that there is a market for handheld Sony, right? And not only that, they just updated the Portal to be able to stream games from PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus streaming, whatever they call it now. I kind of forget. But so the Portal has, where before it was just like, it's just a remote screen for your PS5. It now has, you can now use a Portal without having a PS5 at all, which is pretty cool, right? And so it definitely seems like they're trending in this direction. And I don't think it's a gimmick either. I mean, or what would we say? Chasing a trend.
What's the Portal screen size comparable to? I haven't seen it.
It's 8 inches. 8 inches of Sony right there on the Portal screen, which is nice, but it's not portable. Like I wouldn't want the device to be shaped like that if I were to get one. But it's like, I definitely think that this will happen. I think that what the reports have said is that this is probably multiple years away. I believe that, especially if they're trying to have PS5 level games being playable on this thing. The tech isn't really there yet, where it's not just going to drain the battery completely, but maybe like 3 years down the line, whenever like the Switch 2 is already pretty old, the next Steam Deck is about to come out, stuff like that. That's when I can see this coming out. And then also, man, you bet your fucking bottom dollar that we're going to see Sony games pulled from Steam pretty soon if they actually do this. Because,
for sure.
I mean, we've been speculating that for a while. Whenever they made people have to do their PSN logins in order to play Helldivers 2, it's like the writing was kind of on the wall for like a Sony launcher on PCs, right? And so if that's the case, I see all those purchases that you make through a Sony launcher or on PlayStation, all kind of being cross-compatible with this next device. But either way, I'm here for it, man. This is just an age-old story that Nintendo does something new to like innovate and does something that everybody wants to copy. And now we're seeing Microsoft want to make a hybrid handheld. We're seeing Sony want to return to the handheld console wars. I'm all for it. I love handhelds. So even if it's not going to be as good of a deal as just like having a Steam Deck, you know what I mean? Which is, a Switch and Steam Deck are the best 1-2 punch that you can have right now. I would definitely get one just so I could fund both sides of this conflict.